He built an empire out of beats, brands, and bold ambition. Sean "Diddy" Combs wasn't just a rapper, he was a mogul. From launching Bad Boy Records to shaping the careers of legends like Notorious B.I.G., Diddy became a symbol of success in hip-hop, fashion, and business. But now, he's sitting in a New York federal courtroom facing allegations of sex trafficking, assault, coercion, and operating a system of control that allegedly spanned over 2 decades. The courtroom was filled with familiar faces. Diddy's mother, Janice Combs, and 6 of his children, including King Combs and Chance, came to support him. As he entered the courtroom, Diddy turned to them and formed a heart with his hands, a silent gesture of strength, or perhaps reassurance. Those in the room described his expression as calm but deeply serious, a sharp contrast to his usual public image. Before the trial officially began, Sean Combs entered the courtroom holding a Bible. He sat quietly, turned a few pages, read to himself. To some, it looked like a man searching for redemption. To others, it was just theater. Because when his legal team began to speak, the image shifted. They described a lifestyle filled with private sex parties, group encounters, and recreational drug use. But they didn't deny it. They defended it. According to them, these were consenting adults making their own choices. They called it freedom. They called it normal for someone with fame, money, and access. But to the jury, it raised a question that went far beyond legal definitions. Can a man show up with scripture in his hands and still call that life consensual and clean? The first witness was a man used to silence, a hotel security guard. But on that night in 2016, silence came with a price. Israel Florez was working security at the Intercontinental Hotel in Los Angeles. He got a call. A woman was crying in one of the hallways. When he arrived, he found her, Cassie Ventura, curled into herself. Then came Diddy, wearing nothing but a towel, sweating, breathing hard. Cassie tried to leave. Florez gently motioned to help her, but Diddy stepped forward, locked eyes with him, and said, "She's not going anywhere." Then, without warning, he pulled out a stack of cash and threw it at Florez. "Don't tell anyone." Florez didn't take the money. He didn't report the incident to police either. Why? He said in court, "I felt outnumbered, outpowered, and if I pushed back, things would only get worse for her." He walked away, but the memory stayed. And now, nearly a decade later, so has the surveillance footage. Because this time, someone kept the tape. Her name was Cassie Ventura, singer, model, and for nearly a decade, Diddy's partner, at least in public. But on day 2 of the trial, she took the witness stand and told a very different story. She said she wasn't his girlfriend. She was under his control. She described a life of manipulation, fear, and silence. According to her testimony, Diddy forced her to attend what he called freak-offs, private sex parties involving drugs, multiple partners, and cameras always recording. She didn't want to go. She didn't want to stay, but she says she couldn't leave. Why? Because as she told the court, he had videos of her, and he used them to keep her quiet. Cassie said, "He told me if I ever walked away, he'd destroy me." But Diddy's legal team had another story. They claimed Cassie was a willing partner, that she benefited from the relationship. Luxury cars, high-end fashion, business deals. And when the money stopped flowing, they said, that's when she threatened to expose him. According to them, she asked Diddy for $30 million. When he refused, she filed the lawsuit. And not once, they pointed out, did she go to the police. So now the court has 2 stories, one about fear, the other about money. So which one sounds more believable? That's what this trial is really about. Then came a witness no one saw coming. His name was Daniel Phillips, a former escort. He took the stand and claimed that Diddy hired him for a very specific role, to sleep with Cassie while Diddy watched. He described one encounter in a hotel room where everything had been arranged in advance. Cassie was there. He was there. And so was Diddy, sitting, watching, silent. Daniel said it wasn't just about sex. It was about control, about power, and about performance. He testified that Diddy orchestrated these events like a director running a scene. deciding who did what, when, and how. According to Daniel, Cassie didn't look like someone enjoying it. She looked like someone trying to disappear. And Diddy, he said, didn't seem to care. This wasn't a party. This wasn't consent. This was a show, and the audience was only one man. Outside the courtroom, the world is divided. Some say Cassie waited too long. Some say she's lying for money. Others say she was trapped, like so many women before her, by a system that protects power and punishes truth. And then there's Diddy, a man who walks into court holding a Bible, while his attorneys argue that group sex and drug-fueled parties were just part of the lifestyle. A man who sends hearts to his children from across the room, while witnesses describe nights of manipulation and fear. Even his supporters, the ones who still defend his legacy, are left wondering if everything was truly consensual. Why are so many stories filled with fear? If there was nothing to hide, why was everything kept behind closed doors for so long? The contradictions aren't just legal, they're personal, they're moral, and they're making it harder for anyone to walk away from this case feeling neutral. This is just the beginning, only a few days in, and already the stories are disturbing. And if the early testimonies are any sign, it's going to get worse, because more witnesses are expected, more videos, more details no one ever thought would see the light of day. So who decides what's true? A jury of 12 people, 8 men and 4 women, with 6 alternates. Their ages range from 30 to 74, with an average around 52. Some are fans of hip-hop. Some prefer classical music. Some had already seen the surveillance footage before the trial even began. They've all promised to remain impartial. But when the lines between celebrity and criminal behavior blur, how do you stay neutral? That's the real challenge they face. Because in the end, it won't be the headlines or hashtags that decide Diddy's fate. It'll be those 12 people sitting silently, listening carefully, and deciding whether this was a lifestyle or a long-term system of abuse. And what about you? Do you believe Cassie's story? Do you think this is just the surface of something deeper? Or is it all just a blurred line between fame, power, and private life? Tell us what you think in the comments. This trial is far from over. And if you want to catch the next orange that falls, make sure to subscribe.